Hi, I'm a TI and I'm on the right side. The right side of gang stalking campaigns, which means I don't participate in, tolerate, or condone gang stalking and/or gang stalkers. The audience and/or bystanders can also be on the right side by not participating in, condoning, and/or tolerating gang stalking activities and/or gang stalkers. Homosexuals usually come out or have a coming out party. TIs can speak out or have speaking out events, which is similar because it's breaking the silence about an important issue in someone's life. TIs are the victims of a stalking-by-proxy network. There are consequences to speaking out, but I refuse to suffer in silence and will speak out by sharing my story and helping to raise awareness about organized harassment, which includes gang stalking, bullying, browbeating, and office mobbing. Stalking by proxy in this case includes gang stalking. If you want to better understand what I'm about to discuss and some terms that are going to be used, please watch Protect Life Now's Tendencies Episode 1, Introduction to Gang Stalking. The Tendencies episodes are a great way to learn about gang stalking. You can watch the first episode either before or after you watch this video. It's up to you. What is a targeted individual? A targeted individual is a person who is the target of a network of people who have organized to stalk, torment, and torture the person wherever she or he goes on a daily basis. This horrific and inhumane experience is also known as stalking by proxy, organized stalking, and gang stalking, as well as other names. Along with saying stalking by proxy, I will also use the initials SBP. The people who do this are a covert group with psychopathic tendencies whose life revolves around tormenting those whom their group decides to target. Anyone can become a target for any reason. It appears that the sadistic network is more interested in hunting innocent people rather than the reason why a particular person is chosen. To them, it's a game where the price is upward mobility in the network, ownership of the target, money, favors, drugs, or whatever may be of value to the members of the network. I won't go into too much detail about because there's just too many channels. There's actually plenty of channels on YouTube that tell of TI's experience. One that can explain my situation best is the Protect Life Now's YouTube channel. So if you want to know a bit of what is happening to me, check out the channel and watch the videos. That channel and some other channels will answer most of your questions. When researching stalking by proxy networks, remember that members of the SBP network sometimes put up fake channels and blogs pretending to be TIs and act deliberately crazy to discredit TIs. The Protect Life Now's channel is real and meant to raise public awareness. I really don't know about other channels, but once you start knowing more about this heinous crime, it will be easier to see who is a real TI or really trying to help and who's there to undermine progress. I am forced to move often because of the stalking, and wherever I go there are gang stalkers ready to spread lies, half-truths about me to the audience and/or bystanders. I am not crazy or whatever else is being spread about me. I am sane, non-violent, and non-suicidal. I talk to very few people because of this situation, so if anyone tells you things about me, take it with a grain of salt. Similar to other stalkers, most gang stalkers start to believe that they know the target because they are obsessed with the target. They're voyeurs, and they live in this psychopathic bubble with their psychotic friends who spend most of their days gossiping about, stalking, watching, and planning ways to force the target to interact with them. To any gang stalkers who are watching, the closest relationship that any of you have with me is me victim, you stalker. That's it. Nothing more. The main goal of this gang stalking campaign is to drive the TI to suicide, violence, or insanity. It's just a bunch of people who take bothering people too far. They really mean to do damage. A lot of these bullycides, or kids committing suicide due to severe bullying, is probably gang stalkers' kids practicing on normal kids. They use their kids, disabled people, and other vulnerable populations in their campaign. I'm not going to go into detail about what is being done to me because it's a feedback campaign, meaning that they do something, wait to see how the target responds, then continue if they see it bothers the target or have some other kind of harmful effect. I want to offer tips and discuss some issues related to gang stalking. The audience will find this helpful because chances are they have interacted with members of this network. I was once a member of the audience and had no clue that gang stalking existed, or when I was watching a gang stalking event until I became a target. Sometimes I wish to go back to the days of unknowing, but then I remember all the people who turned on me before I knew what was going on. I was a sitting duck, and it is by God's grace that I am still here. Now I know the truth and have a better chance to avoid letting these psychopaths into my life, getting caught in their webs, or unknowingly forming meaningful relationships with them, just to end up hurt, stalked, or worse, based on someone's whim. At a basic level, the discussions are about dealing with people who have excessive psychopathic or sadistic tendencies, whether or not they are a member of the stalking-by-proxy network. So the audience or bystanders can benefit even from a non-stalking perspective. This channel will have some stuff that has little to do with the stalking network. However, I want to help save lives, promote freedom and human rights, and raise awareness about this inhumane and deplorable attack on innocent lives. This is my contribution to the cause. It would be easy for TIs if this whole stalking by proxy network was a mental illness, but it's not. If it were schizophrenia or paranoia or any other form of mental illness that TIs have been accused of having, there would be more assistance available. Honestly, if it was a mental illness, I could go to a shrink, get medication or therapy, and other kinds of assistance. But it's not mental illness. This is real. It was hard to accept that this is happening in general, and more so that this is happening to me. So, save all your mental illness insults because I've heard it all, and it really won't have much of an effect on me. I know what is happening is real, and my main focus at this point is to raise awareness so that no innocent people will go through this horrific experience. These people are dangerous. They go after everybody, kids, adults, seniors, females, Males, sick, healthy, gay, straight, black, white, rich, poor, nothing is sacred to them. I tried to report the gang stalking to authorities on a federal, state, and local level, but kept getting deterrence or resistance. Unfortunately, some members of the criminal administration system have proudly showed me that they are also members of the SBP network. I don't have to guess or ask. They usually want me to know and use the network's method to identify themselves as members or as members to TIs. These are the ones that give the criminal administration system a bad reputation and corrupt the system. Watch Protect Life Now's Gang Stalking Theory 2 to get an idea of how gang stalkers try to track and trap their victims by placing their members in places where they know the victim will go to seek help. This channel, this one, and videos are geared towards the audience, bystanders, and TI. It's generally for good people and or decent people. I make this distinction because some of the statements or ideas are specific to them. For example, if I were speaking to someone whose perfectionist tendencies was impairing his or her life and said, you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. Everyone has flaws. Just accept that you have them and do the best, you can to improve as many as you can. But stop being hard on yourself. That would be okay. But someone who is detrimentally flawed and doesn't want to admit or do anything to improve may come across the statement and use it as an excuse to keep avoiding to do anything about their flaws and may even get worse. Another example. If I said to a wealthy person who is obsessed with saving to the point that they don't even enjoy having money and live like they can barely make ends meet, it's good to save, but it's okay to splurge once in a while and live better. You should allow yourself to have a higher standard of living while saving. Someone who is obsessed with shopping and can't really afford the lifestyle that they're trying to buy instead of earn may, they may take this as an excuse to keep up the facade. They may only take away, it's good to save, but it's okay to splurge once in a while and live better. And then they may save less than they should, but spend more than they could afford, based on that statement, making things worse. So some of the statements don't apply to everybody. Once in a while, I may address those who are psychopaths, sadistic, or have psychopathic tendencies, but if I do, I will most likely make it clear that I'm speaking to them. My life is in danger. I have tried to report this crime, and these people have put their member in places that TIs would seek assistance, including law enforcement. I'm stalked daily. I may have videos where I joke around, but these discussions and what is happening to me is serious. If you ever see me, don't speak to me, because I won't talk to you, due to the fact that the stalkers also try to get me to interact with them in order to harass or provoke me. The only way to communicate with me right now is through this channel. I won't call you, so don't ask. Not everyone is going to agree or believe my experience, and that's fine. I'm not worried because the truth can only be suppressed temporarily. Let me say it again. The truth can only be suppressed temporarily. In other words, the truth always comes out. If this gets you riled up, watch some other video. If you just want to leave insults or nasty comments, then either leave it on the Crass Corner video, or better yet, watch something else. Plain and simple. If you can disagree respectfully, then leave your comment. Electronic harassment is the cornerstone of this network. Electronic harassment is not invincible and can be detected. Being kept a secret is the SBP network's most effective method. Exposing gang stalking will reveal how it's not that powerful and can be stopped. The TI speaking out are some proof that it doesn't work on everyone and can be remedied. I will have a few videos up with examples of EH, with examples of the EH used in the campaign against me. This appears to be the gang stalking network's stronghold and how they torment their targets. From the gang stalkers I encountered, I don't think they limit the use of EH to just official targets. It's possible that they use it on whom they please, including the bystanders and audience. Before I was a TI, I was a bystander and audience. Now that I'm a TI, I can see things from the perspective of a bystander or audience, not knowing what's really going on, and from the perspective of a TI who is now in on the dirty little secret. One experience I had as a TI was when a group of gang stalkers were using EH on me. They were in another room and thought I didn't know what they were talking about. A baby had been crying for a while, and they were annoyed and were complaining about it. Then suddenly the baby stopped crying, and one of them admitted that she had used the EH on the baby to make the baby stop crying, and she was proud of it. Now, to show that EH is not invincible or permanent, about 10 minutes later, the baby started crying again, and the other said, "Oh, there it goes again." Then the one who used the EH on the baby got upset and decided to start trouble with the mother instead. That's just one example. The EH videos will show that the gadgets that allow them to do this particular form of EH is portable. There is a mixture of recordings taken in public, private, outdoors, and indoors. This shows that the gadgets being used are not confined to indoors and allows the stalkers to torment the TI wherever she or he goes. There is more than one type of EH. So the videos will just show one example, or excuse me, not one example. The videos will just show examples of one type. This gang stalking campaign is supposed to make me cynical and hopeless, but this is the first time I really believe that a better world is possible. As long as there are TIs speaking out, you know that gang stalkers have not taken over and are still tweaking their sadistic campaigns. In other words, as long as there are TIs, there is hope. There's still a chance to stop these gang stalking campaigns. If everyone is silenced, then the situation is more bleak. Not hopeless, but harder for society as a whole. The gang stalking, or the stalking by proxy network, is using high-tech devices to manipulate and deteriorate the victim's mind and body. It's a slow kill process. This is practically a network of serial killers who select a victim, then take turns stalking, harassing, intimidating, and torturing innocent people. They think they could just take over anyone's life, deprive the victim of their rights and freedom, and use high-tech devices to try to invade the most personal part of an individual. Their high-tech devices can allow synthetic ESP to even the most dangerous criminals, as well as resemble all types of mental or psychological and physical ailments on the victim. To call this an urgent matter or even an emergency for the country is an understatement. Exposing and eradicating the stalking by proxy network could help ease or end so many issues. It could solve numerous crimes and shed new light, or even end some psychological and physical diseases, as well as other things. I have experienced the harm that EH can do to a person and gang stalking can do to a community. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. These gang stalkers are ruthless, they're dangerous, they're cold-hearted criminals, though some may lead double lives as outstanding citizens. They will put up a fight, and there will be a period of complete and utter chaos. But once good triumphs over evil, and good will triumph, the world will be a better place, even for the gang stalkers. And it will all be worth the fight. I'm not talking about the rapture or aliens, and I'm not knocking anyone who talks about that. When the dust settles, what is learned about EH and other gang stalking methods can be used to help human progress. To sum up everything, as of now, it's not too late to stop gang stalking. And more importantly, a better world is definitely possible.